I am from the province of the Legends, Eastern Cape. I will then allow the honorable members that are part of this team who are members of the Portfolio Committee to introduce themselves.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Samantha Graham-Murray. I'm a member of the Democratic Alliance and a member of the Portfolio Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure. And I come from the Eastern Cape. I live in a town called Graafrenet. And I was telling them earlier, it's an English and Afrikaans speaking town, and there we speak Graafrikaans. So ons gooi bietjie Engels en Afrikaans by mekaar as ons praat met die mense. Baie dankie almal dat julle hier vanoggend is. Ons waardeer julle insette en ons waardeer julle tyd wat julle opgeoffer het. Dankie.
Sanibonani. Igama lami Elfas Sokamathebula. Ngililunga leParliament. Lapha eParliament ngimele inhlangano ye-African National Congress, the People's Organization. Ngokubuya ke ngibuya eMpumalanga endaweni ekubizwa ukuthi ikwazama okuhle eHenrina. So ngithanda ukusho futhi ukuthi ngingcenye yale committee ezokwenza umsebenzi obaluleke kakhulu kule ndawo esikuyo namhlanje. Ngiyabonga kakhulu.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lizzie Shabalala. I'm deployed in Parliament by the African National Congress. I originally come from Ladysmith, a small town in KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, and I am a member of this Portfolio Committee. Thank you.
Sanibonani, igama uLindi kaMjobo, ngililunga laleli committee, ngideploye e-National Assembly e-Cape Town, ngideploywa yi-African National Congress, ngiyajabula ukuba nani namuhla. Ngiyabonga. Ngibuya KwaZulu-Natal, ngiyaxolisa.
Good morning, goeiemorgen. My name is Wayne Thring. I am from KwaZulu-Natal, Durban. Many people ask why don't I speak Afrikaans, and it is because I grew up in an English-speaking home in Durban. I also sit on the Portfolio Committee of the Public Works and Infrastructure. I am a member of the African Christian Democratic Party, representing the ACDP at Parliament. Bly om almal hier te sien, baie dankie.
Goeiemôre almal. Ek is Sharon van Skalkwyk, 'n lid van die ANC, geontplooi na die nasionale vergadering. Ek is deel van die Portfolio Komitee en ek is oorspronklik van Appington in die Noord-Kaap en is goed om vandag hier te wees by u. Ons waardeer u insette en ons hoop dat u self goed sal verteenwoordig. Baie dankie.
Thank you, honorable members. We will introduce, if we have any members from the provincial legislature or from any of the municipal councils around, we will introduce them when we get their name. But with me now, I have a list of the traditional leadership that has joined us. We have from the first indigenous nation of South Africa, Finsa. We have Chief, please, I want to apologize before I speak if I pronounce your surname not the way that you want it. Please bear with me. We have Chief Khwara, who can just raise his or her hand where he is. Thank you, sir. We have head woman Nadia Ngamsa. Thank you. We have Chief Anthony Van Roy. Thank you. We have Chief Jan Waterboer. Thank you. We have Chief Ibrahim van Veek. We have Chief Albert Engelbrecht. Thank you. We will then pronounce others as they arrive. We are here as the Portfolio Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure to seek your views and comments on the proposed draft expropriation bill number 23 of 2020. This bill seeks to repeal Act number 63 of 1975, an act which was adopted by the then government, the apartheid government, an act which does not speak to what the constitution that was adopted by this government in 1996 says so. So we are repealing that act. 2, this bill also seeks to ensure that all the expropriating authorities have a uniform and standard way of expropriating properties for public purpose and public interest. And where necessary, nil compensation may be effected. So we are here to seek your views on this bill. That is the third phase of our process, which started by us seeking return submissions, a process that we closed on the 28th of February 2021. And then we had another process in which we were listening to oral submission as the Portfolio Committee through a virtual platform. And now this is the 7th province that we are visiting, seeking now your views in public hearings. So you are free to state your view, whether you support the bill or you oppose the bill without fear or favor. But we would also appreciate that you also state the reasons why you are supporting it or why you are opposing it. We are only going to give you 3 minutes to present your view. If you are coming from an organization, whether it's a political party, whether it's an association of farmers, whether it's organized labor, or you are just an individual that you want your voice to be heard, you will state so. You give us your name and then state the organization, or you just indicate, no, I'm not representing any organization, but I'm representing my views on this bill. And then we will take that as the Portfolio Committee. We will only sit as the Portfolio Committee once we are done with all the provinces. Unfortunately, this is the last province that we'll be visiting. We won't be going to Northern Cape and Free State as we expected to because of the rising numbers of COVID-19 infections in those 2 provinces. So we will only sit as the Portfolio Committee. Once we are through with all the provinces, we will then combine the views from the written submissions, the oral submissions, and the views that you will be presenting to us. Come up with a report that will be presented to Parliament for discussions in Parliament. So we are here to listen to you. We are appealing that when you present your view, you may ask questions, but don't expect us to respond because we are here to listen. And sometimes when you ask those questions, the time that we have given you, which is 3 minutes, will be finished and we won't respond immediately because we have to listen to all those that want to state their views here. We are now going to start. Those that would like to speak, can they please raise their hand? Okay, we'll start with the chief. Chief, you're going to be our number one. We sit here when we start. Number two, yes. Number three, right at the back. Yeah. Yeah, with the parade, yes. Number four, you are number four? Yes. Once I've pointed at you, please come so that you get a seat. Number five. Okay, yes, and number six, the one, yes. Number 7 at the back. Number 8, right there at the back. Any other hand that we have? Any other hand that, okay. Number 10. Any other hand? Oh, okay, then we will, I think let's deal with the group that we have, and then if there's any other, we will take the second round. You can join, yes, and be the last one there. Oh no, you can sit there. We'll just bring you, he's using crutches, so we don't want him to move around. Yeah. You are free to express yourself in any of the 11 official languages.
ISIS. Koina. Goeiemorgen, mensen. LOB. Iets nga. Kijkankans. So, ek wil net vir julle vanoggend sê baie dankie vir die voorreg. Ek het Chief Gwara van FINSA, First Indigenous Nation of South Africa. Ook van die Griekwa, of Grieknijs van die Cederberge. Ek is hoofman of chief van FINSA en ook van die Chokakwa Kingdom. So hier het ons nou 'n onteieningswet wat voorgestel word aan die First Indigenous of die eerste nasie van Suid-Afrika. Maar my probleem is, my persoonlike probleem is, toe die grondwet voorgestel was, net deur 2 persone in hierdie suidelike kant van die Sahara, was dit net die Ngonis en dan ook die wit Europeërs wat daardie grondwet of die konstitusie van Suid-Afrika voorgestel het. Die eerste nasie was nie betrokke by die grondwet aanvaarding nie. So Section 25 wat nou vir ons voorgelê word, gaan oor onteiening van eiendom wat in onregtelik en occupiers, Europese occupiers besit is. Dit was sodat reeds 'n onteiening plaasgevind. So dis nou 'n tweede onteiening. Die eerste onteiening wat plaasgevind het was van die eerste nasie of die Khoi en die Kagam of die Khoi en die Bushman. So ek wil nog graag weet, hoe kan daar nou weer 'n onteiening plaasvind as die grond of die eiendom in verkeerlike hand is of in mense se hande is wat nie hulle eiendom is nie. Die eiendom wat aan die Europese afstammelinge se hand is, behoort aan die eerste nasie van Suid-Afrika. So dit moet teruggegee word, dit moet nie onteien word nie. Ons moet ons grond, ons eiendom terugkry as dit reg is met hierdie government, dan as hulle dit so aanvaar, moet hulle teruggee aan ons. Nie onteien nie. So dit besit nie, die eiendom is nie in besit van regtelike mense nie, of eienaars nie, maar dit is occupiers van ons grond. So Section 25, die hele grondwet moet verander word, want ons was nie betrokke nie. Dit moet verander word, sodat van ons insa op die grondwet kan het, as die eerste nasie van Suid-Afrika. Ek het dan ook 'n dokument, wat ek wil voorstel aan julle, wat ek wil gee. Maar dit was net my inleiding, so ek sal die dokument afgee, waar ons teen die oneiening van eiendom is. Dit gaan nie oor grond wat weggevat word nie. Dit gaan oor eiendom. Eiendom is dan ook ons huise. Dit is nie net ons grond nie. Ons is van die grond, ons is die grondmense. So as julle die grond van my af wegvat, dan vat julle my eiendom weg. Dat is myne. Nie anders eie nasies nie, of 'n ander wat foreigners is nie. Julle kom kry ons hier, en julle het ons oneien deur genocide. Ons is eiendom, as er ook my taal wat weggevat is. Ek soek my taal ook terug. Ek soek my identiteit terug. Nie net my eiendom, my grond nie. Ek soek alles terug wat deur genocide weggevat was. Kyk aan kans.
I am from the Windsor, and I am the chief of the Griqua, Gabura, and Chokakwa tribes. We're talking here about expropriation, and I have a personal problem that I want to raise. Firstly, the constitution that we have was only dealt with by the Nguni and the European invaders. We are the first nation, and the Section 25 expropriation is unrightful. The land at the moment is owned by unlawful Europeans, and now we're going to involve ourselves with a second expropriation. The land was owned by the Bushmen and the Khoi and the San, and how can we go through the second expropriation? We are the people who descend from those original owners, and we must have our land back. It must be given back to us. It's not a matter of expropriation. It is not Section 25. We were not involved in this constitutional conversation, and we therefore need to be part of that situation where we are able merely to have our land returned to us. I am against the act as it is because it's our ground. You've taken our ground away from us. This is a matter of expropriation through genocide. And not only genocide through taking away our land, it's also taking away my identity and the identity of our people.
Good morning, everybody. Molweni, Sanibona Nonke. Goeiemorgen en welkom op die Weskus en in die Weskaap. Chair, my name is Councillor Andre Truter. I'm from the Democratic Alliance, and for the purpose of having a speedy delivery, I'm going to read my submission to this esteemed panel. Thank you very much. Chair, the DA fully supports land reform and restitution. The DA believes that our existing land reform policies are not the problem. The reason why land reform has failed so spectacularly, the expropriation bill is not the answer to land reform. the expropriation bill has been drafted to give government the power to expropriate property for its own use. The bill does not address what will happen once the land has been expropriated. And in main, the property that is expropriated will be used by the state to fulfill its own developmental aim, such as building roads, schools, and hospitals and the like. Land expropriated for land reform purposes is only one small part of the bill. The issues with the expropriation bill in its current form is that it does not properly define property, except to say that it's in line with the definition of Section 25 of the Constitution. This creates a problem where anything other than land is going to be expropriated because, in terms of the bill, there are no clear guidelines for expropriation of property other than land. Under what circumstances may property of land be expropriated? Who will determine just and equitable compensation? What access does the property owner have to courts in events of a dispute? Until there is absolute clarity on what property can be expropriated and how, this bill cannot be supported. Private property rights are the cornerstones of the democracy, our democracy. And a constitutional democracy exists where the rights of individual owners are greater than that of the state. The expropriation bill creates a situation where the rights of the state carries far more weight than that of the individual. Under the Section 2.2 of the concurrence of the executive authority, which owns the property in question, is required in order for expropriation to proceed. No such right or refusal to property owners. In other words, the state may say no to expropriation, but private owners may not. The rights of private property owners are further undermined by the fact that expropriation may take place prior to finalization of compensation. And should there be any dispute about the value of the compensation, the access to courts for assistance may take place after the property has already been expropriated. This puts the property owner at a distinct disadvantage in trying to enforce the rights of their property after it had already been taken by the state.
The time is up.
I do not support the bill. Ek ondersteun nie die wetgewing nie. Andit Tasa, Mtetu, Usulwayo. Thank you very much. Bye, donkey.
I support the bill of land expropriation without compensation. I want to correct one of the chief when he's speaking that we are the foreigners. I'm not a foreigner in Africa. I never crossed the ocean. I'm the son of the soil. The problem starting in 1852 when the Europeans landed in the Cape Colony. They must understand that this land, we need it back. When they taking the land, they were not speaking about the title deeds. But today, we are speaking about the title deeds. Chairperson, we do not understand why the parliament is spending money on this process when there is a process to amend the constitution, and then after amending the constitution, this committee must bring the legislation informed by the constitution. We made our submission in 2 parliament public hearings on the land question, and we told members of parliament to go and amend the constitution to allow for the expropriation of all land without compensation into the custody of the state. We are concerned that the expropriation bill that you want us to make input on this legislation, that must tell us. Now that the constitution allowed the expropriation of all land without compensation, this is how the state is going to expropriate land. This is how the land is going to be distributed to every everyone equally. And this is how our right to use the land is going to be protected. But since you are here, you must know that our position remains the same. We want all land to be expropriation without compensation. This is the only way we will address the colonial land dispossessions and the legacy of apartheid. We did not give the parliament a mandate to find ways to pay for land that was stolen. Our land is not a commodity, should not be for sale. The expropriation bill is an unnecessary distraction, and we see it as a way to hijack the real struggle of a black people and will not solve the challenges of land. The money that is available to pay for land must be given to black small-scale farmers. The black people in South Africa need their land to farm, build houses, build businesses, and the expropriation bill is not going to help us in doing any of these things. No legislation is above the Constitution. I say it again, to correct the chief. As the Nguni people, we're the part of the continent of Africa. We never crossed again the ocean. We were here. The black genocide was started as soon Jan van Riebeeck landed in our continent. Thank you very much.
Your name? Your name?
Okay, sorry. Ndingoxolani kaChetu, the regional chairperson of EFF West Coast.
Goeiemôre, goeiemôre meneer. Ek is Edmund Rassan. Ek verteenwoordig die Elandskloof CPA. Elandskloof CPA, Cedarburg, Western Cape. Because there is a confusion. There is another Elandskloof, also in the Western Cape, Verliesdorp area. So that Elandskloof is striving with success. And the other Elandskloof that I am speaking about, Cedarburg, Western Cape. I support the bill, the expropriation bill. So wat eintlik gebeur in Elandskloof? Elandskloof was die eerste gemeenskap wat hulle grond teruggekry het van die government af. Maar in 1996 met die oorgee van die grond was Elandskloof nie in sy geheel teruggegee nie. Met gevolg, wat gebeur het is 1994 het Mandela vir ons in Atlantis gebeloof. Hy gee vir Elandskloof ten volle terug. Dit was instruction wat hy gegee het aan local government. Local government het nie die werk gedoen nie, want hulle het nie vir Elandskloof ten volle teruggegee nie. Ons sit nou huidelik sê met 150 hektaar grond wat ons by die government gekry het, wat die government gekoop het by die plaasboere. So, huidelik soos ons nou praat, het ons nog altyd die 150 hektaar waar ons op nou sit, maar ons het bewyse wat strek tot in 1832, wat bewys dat Elandskloof was die eerste dorp in die Citrusdalstreek. Maar ons gaan nie so teruggaan nie. Ons gaan hom nou vat van 1950 af. So, wat ek wil sê is die probleem wat ons ondervind het in Elandskloof, nadat Mandela die instructions gegee het vir local government, het hulle nie so gemaak nie, want hulle het nie vir Elandskloof in geheel weer vir ons gegee nie. So wat gebeur het, vanaf 1996 was die local government, DA, tot op hede. So, ons as Elandsklowers noem het die magie. Dan het ons losplase rondom Elandskloof wat ons noem die kroongrond. So wat local government daai tyd gedoen het, hulle het al ons plase rondom Elandskloof geverkoop. Ons as gemeenskapslede sit met bewysstukke uit 2004 wat uit die Cederberg munisipaliteit uitkom van 'n plaas se waardasiekennisgewing. So ek stem nie bil, ek wil net graag hê dat
Your time is up.
dat die kommissie moet daarna kyk asseblief.
Thank you.
Hi there. My name's Edmund Risse from Elandskloof CPA, Cederberg, Western Cape. Elandskloof was the first was the first place to receive land in 1969. Land was given back, but not all of it. Mandela promised to give us Elandskloof, the entire Elandskloof, but after he came out, he didn't do so. Never happened. We received 150 hectares. But there's proof from 1837 that we needed to receive more. The entire Citrus Dal area is supposed to be included. There's an area, the Mahi, and then also the Crown Land, which is the surrounding farms. The Crown Land around Elands has been sold by the government, and we have proof thereof. I just want to let you know I am against the bill. Thank you.
If we may not be clearly conversant with Afrikaans, but the gentleman here, when he started to speak, that one, he said it in English. He said that I support the bill. And then in the end, he said he does not support the bill. Can the guy please assist us? Yes, please. So you support the bill? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We've captured the issue of a land claim, that you got some land, but you promised more. You have not yet got that. We got that one. But we wanted to actually check, do you support or not support the bill?
No, like I told you now, I was just heaped up. I do support the bill, and I want the commission to look at local government, how the process followed by issuing the land to us. Because we got the proof that we have more ground, and we also got proof that our land has been sold.
Oh, thank you. If you have anything written, you can submit it to, yes, if you have something written. Thank you. And this is referring to others, because the time is limited to only 3 minutes. If you have something written, we would appreciate it if you can leave it with our officials. Thank you.
Honorable members of parliament and also people in the house. My name is Chief Kevin Mart, and I'm actually representing the Kochokwa tribe. It's a Khoisan tribe. And I'm the spokesperson actually for the Kochokwa tribe on land affairs and also economic affairs. As the Kochokwa tribe, we support the expropriation bill. And for the following reasons. You remember that in the period of dispossession of the local Khoisan people of their land, the commandos were used by the free burghers and the VOC and all those guys coming to South Africa saying that land belonged to them because they had this mindset of title deed and all those things. We didn't have that. And we suppose that this bill is actually supporting us to actually legally go about taking a repossession of our land and property that belong to the indigenous tribe of South Africa, the Khoisan. The Khoisan has been an unrecognized and marginalized indigenous tribe up to now, and we really want to use the means that, like it is put out in this bill, to actually get from some of our property back. I actually also want to refute the claim that is made by previous colonialists that property rights should remain intact. I actually want to maybe join Mr. Julius Malema, who said once, these colonialists should actually show me the ship with which they transported land to South Africa to come and claim now all of a sudden that the land belonged to them. And I want to correct the previous speaker of the EFF saying that the Nguni have rights in terms of the historical possession of land in South Africa. His own commander-in-chief, Julius Malema, said that the Khoisan are the rightful owners of South Africa. And they are but mere visitors. That's the words of Julius Malema. We actually want to also, as I said, want to actually say we are supporting the bill, but we are taking exception against this contemporary discourse around the expropriation bill that barely mention the Khoi and the San and our original title deed of South Africa. We really need you to actually factor that into this expropriation bill. I'm drawing my inspiration from the preamble of our Constitution, which states South Africa belongs to all who live in it. And we see land as a cultural and an economic asset that can unlock value for the previously disadvantaged, especially the Khoisan people. I actually think I need to start concluding, but I actually want to just also want to suggest an amendment in terms of section 6.1, where the consultation process with the municipality is actually described in broad detail. I don't know how you can exclude your indigenous or your tribal leadership from this consultation process. It can't be only done with the municipality. You also need to include the tribal leadership, whether it is in KwaZulu-Natal or whether it is in the Western Cape, but you need to also include in 6.1 the traditional leadership to be consulted when you actually talk about expropriation. Thank you so much.
Just lift it for me a little bit. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, all the parliamentarians. Also, special greeting to Member of Parliament, Wayne Thring of the ACDP. I recognize you. My name is Reverend Frankwit Uester. I'm also from Saldanha, a descendant of the Khoi people, the first people in South Africa. So today, yes, I take my argument through a few statements, questions, and then a few directives that I want to give to this committee today. My argument doesn't start with 1488 or with 1652. But we as the Khoi people, we take our argument back to Scripture. The Bible says In the beginning, Genesis 1 verse 1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Psalm 24 verse 1, the Bible also says that the earth and everything in it, the world and everything that lives in it belongs to God. Then God gave, according to Deuteronomy 32 verse 8, the Bible says, when the Most High gave nations their inheritance, when he divided all mankind, he set up boundaries for the peoples according to the number of the sons of Israel. So he gave nations, territory, and boundaries. He's again in the book of Acts chapter 17 verse 26, the Bible says, from one man God made all the nations that they should inhabit the whole earth. And God marked out their appointed times in history and the boundaries of their lands. So I premise my argument that this land belongs to the indigenous people of South Africa, the Khoi, and the land was given to them by God. So my question then to the committee, do you know who the real owners of the land of South Africa are? That's the first question. Have you consulted the original owners of the land of South Africa, the indigenous people? Do you have authority to address this issue? If yes, what or who gave you that authority? This action then by this government we consider as unlawful and therefore illegal and invalid. It is a crime against the indigenous people of this land who have been marginalized, neglected, insulted by both the apartheid regime and the democratic rulers. Land expropriation should take place, yes, but for the correct reasons. Otherwise, it will just be the continuation of the injustice of the past. The indigenous people are willing, according to the mandate of God, to share this land, but then it must be done in the right way. This is something also that I want to point out in this bill, is that land, when it is expropriated, should go to male or female.
Your time is up, Reverend. Thank you.
Molweni mhlali ngaphambili nesigaba sakho. Ndingumandla wakwaJonas, ndiphuma eMatsikama kwaWard 3. I am the regional organizer of the EFF here in West Coast. Mhlali ngaphambili ndiyamangala uba kutheni iParlamente ilibazisa to amend usection 25. Andazi noba iyayonwabisa nalento umhlaba wethu ownerishwe si foreigners. When the foreigners arrived in Africa, they colonized Africa continent and they divide the black Africans and put the border gates. As the EFF, we are saying again, as we did, we are saying, umhlaba mawubuyiselwe ebantwini wabo ngaphandleni kwembuyekezo. When these foreigners arrive here and steal the land from our forefathers and kill our forefathers, there is no such a hearing like this. They were killing our forefathers brutally. But the parliamentary leaders, they are delayed to amend that section 25. Please, we are begging you, amend that section 25 and bring back our land. I want to correct the speaker before. Speaker basis lapha ngaphambili. When the CIC Julius Malema was saying the land, the full owners of the land in South Africa is the Khoisan, was not meaning that the Mnguni is not the full owners. I thank you.
I'm Mandla Jonas from Ward 3 and the chairperson. Greetings to the committee. And I want to say we, as the FF, we are surprised with the delay that the committee is adopting. Because Section 25 is supposed to be amended as in yesterday. Do you enjoy the fact that our land is in the hands of the wrong people? We as the AFF, we say that the land must be brought back to its rightful owners. I thank you.
Goeiemôre. Ek is Maggie Janari van Elandskloof. Edmund Resant het nou gepraat hier van tevore. So, kan ek af? Okay, dankie. Edmund Resant het nou gepraat van tevore hier oor Elandskloof, so ek gaan nie baie uitbrei daaroor nie. Die rede hoekom ek die bil ondersteun, die naam, die gesig in die plek Elandskloof is nou al 'n hol gerigte ryde plek. Ek weet die land weet nou al wat daar gebeur het, wat daar gevra is. Ek het selfs vir die president ook gevra om te kom kyk na die trane en die bloedspoor wat daar nagelaat is op Elandskloof. Sien is glo. Jy kan kom sien wat daar aangaan, wat daar gebeur het. Nou kry die bietjie wat nou daar oorskiet, kry nou die skuld vir dit wat daar gebeur. Daar was 'n hofbevel 1996. Wallace Magoki was daai tyd commissaris van grondsake en hy sê Elandskloof is 'n restitusiegeval. Nou volgens my is restitusie teruggee wat van jou weggeneem is. Kom kyk, ek pleit by u, kom kyk of ons gekry het wat van ons weggeneem het. Ons mensewaardigheid, want ons skool is weggeneem, ons kerk is weggeneem, ons huise is afgebrand in die tyd wat het weggeneem is. Nou moet dit wat ons daar het, wat ons opgebring het, uit dit wat ons mag kon verdien het, moes ons dit gekon, ons het die droë land gekry. Daar was brande, dit is verwoes, ons het niks teruggekry nie. Nou is daar restitusie wat moes uitgebetaal word. Daar was kompensasie wat hulle van praat. Ons weet nie wat word van die goed nie. Niemand kom tot op grondvlak om te kom kyk. Kom kyk, ek vra is my pleidooi, kom kyk wat daar gebeur het. En daar is genoem van die omliggende gronde, nou word ons gelag en daar word gesê, hulle kan nie die stukkie land wat hulle opsit, kan hulle nie eers bewerk nie. So hoe wil hulle nog met die ander doen en wat ook al? Ons het 'n nageslag. Ons het 'n nageslag na wie ons moet kyk. Ek pleit weer en dan sê ek dankie. Kom kyk asseblief wat op Elandskloof aangaan en wat daar gebeur. En dan kan daar verder weer gepraat word. Baie dankie.
My name is Mari Denari from Elandskloof. I'm not going to expand on what was said before by previous speakers. I say to the President, with tears and with blood that ran over the ground, please come and see what happened to our land. We only have what's left over. There was a court order in 1996 when Mr. Magoki was Chief of Land Affairs, and they spoke of restitution. They must give back what was taken away. We have lost our schools, we have lost our churches, our houses were burnt down. All we have now is burnt out land, and they speak still of restitution. Where do we get this restitution? Nobody comes to look at us, and everybody around us laughs at us because we can't even look after the piece of land that we've had that was just a burnt out shell. We have descendants to look after, and we beg you, please come and have a look at what has happened in Elandskloof.
Good morning to everyone sitting here, parliamentaries, everyone of the community, different places, attending this meeting. My name is Colin Erasmus, and I'm from Clanwilliam. I thank you for the opportunity to say what I'm going to say today. I'm from the EFF, and there's only two things I would like to highlight, due to the fact that previous speakers already said that needs to be said. The first thing I'd like to say is the land must belong to those who produce it. And that is very valid, and it's very important that we need to know the land must belong to those who produce it. Secondly, I just would like to highlight something that the previous speaker of the EFF said. We did not give Parliament a mandate to find ways to pay for land that was stolen. Our land is not a commodity, and it not should be for sale. I thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers. We have outside those that would like to speak, so we're going to allow them. Just before we will take another round here, but we don't want them to be, are they ready? If they are not yet ready, then let's take another round here. But if those that would like to speak that are not here inside the hall, can we then get them ready? They are ready. Okay, let's take those that are inside. Just before he speaks, just give him the mic, ne? Is Pudi, ne? The one at the back must come and sit in the chair. Number 2, number 3. Yeah? Okay. And you at the back, yes. They must just sit, we'll allow him to speak first. There are people outside because of the COVID-19 regulations. We cannot have more inside than the number that is expected of us. And some of them, those that are outside, would like to speak. So we usually ask those that are inside to humbly vacate so that we allow those that are outside to come in. But I had also requested those that want to speak outside, they must be brought in and be part of the queue. So if you can do that quietly, let's allow Tata to speak.
Good morning, goeiemorgen. My naam is Dennis Bantum. Ek wil eerstens baie dankie sê vir die chair van hierdie.
Apologies. Can we do the moving out quietly? Those that want to listen, they can remain seated. Yeah, can I stop it now?
Goed, my naam is Dennis Bantum. Ek verteenwoordig die gemeenskap van Wuppertal, maar ook 'n organisasie genaamd FINZA, First Indigenous Nation of South Africa. Ek is ook nie hier, wil ek net duidelik dit noem dat ek is verteenwoordig geen politiek hier nie, maar wel my gemeenskap van Wuppertal. Die Wuppertal gemeenskap is teen die onteieningsbil vir die rede vir die eienaarskap waarin die grond nou besit is. Die grond van Wuppertal is die grond van onze voorvaders, wat net tijdens die apartheid in die vorm van beskerming in die hande van die kerk beland het, wat ons ook noem wat 'n onwettige besit is. So die prosesse wat dan tans aan die gang is ten opsigte van die grondonteieningsbil wat ons nou mee te doen het, is ons ook bekommerd omdat voel ons dit word strategies gedoen, die prosesse wat die munisipaliteit Cederberg tans mee besig is daar met die grondhervorming om mense te bemoedig om hulle woonpersele te kan kry, maar geen ander grond wat eintlik hulle inkomste van is nie. So waar ook die bronne op is. So ons mense is teen die bil en ons vra dat die prosesse wat tans besig is, wat die grondhervorming betref, dat die prosesse gestaak moet word en dat ons moet teruggaan en gaan kyk na ook 'n wet wat nagevors is, wat ook sulke gronde beskerm, moet heel eers daarna gekyk word. Ek praat onder korreksie, ek meen is 1961 1961 Act, the Colored People's Trust Land Act, so ons moet daarna gaan kyk en gee ons mense se grond terug. Dit is die versoek van Wuppertal gemeenskap. Alle ontwikkelings wat tans aan die gang is geensins met ons mense ook inwoners bespreek of die wettige eienaars bespreek nie, en voel ons dat ons geensins verantwoordelik gehou sal word vir uitgawes wat deur 'n befondser, die Ruperts, nou onlangs gedoen is nie. So die gemeenskap gaan nie die verantwoordelikheid vat vir insette deur die Ruperts nie, maar ten volle hulle grond terug. Baie dankie.
My name is Dennis Bantom. Thank you. I represent the community of Wuppertal, and I also represent the Finsa, which is the first indigenous nations of South Africa. Our community is against this expropriation bill, and we have our land, which has been given to us in Wuppertal, from our forefathers, and it was given in protection to the church, and it was handed over to them, and we are worried that the strategic manner in which the local authorities are working with on expropriation, they are wanting to get hold of our land. We are against these processes, and the processes should be stopped immediately. Our land should be protected, and the Act, if I'm right, is the Act of 1961, the Colored People's Land Act, does not do this sufficiently. We weren't consulted about this land, and you are the legal owners, and the community does not want to take responsibility for the money that has been spent by the Ruperts in order for the expropriation to go ahead. Thank you.
Honourable Chairperson, all members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Francois Skippers. I'm from Saldanha Bay Municipality, and I'm also a member of the Democratic Alliance. I've got a few points that I would like to highlight. We are concerned that property, public purpose, and public interest are not sufficiently defined in the bill and could lead to potential exploitation of the provisions of the Act by officials and also politicians. Property relates to all property and is not limited to land. If public purpose or public interest can be shown, any property can be expropriated as it currently stands. Expropriation without compensation, however, relates purely to land. Chairperson, I would also like to refer to section 12.3c, which identifies so-called abandoned land as being subjected to null compensation. We are of the opinion that this provision is particularly dangerous as it will encourage land grabs. The bill also doesn't deal with adequately with mortgages, and there are genuine concerns that if an expropriated owner is paid less in compensation than what is due to the mortgage, they will be liable to repay the bank the difference. This will have a negative impact on banking sector already affected severely by COVID, and it will certainly worsen the conditions if the bill is passed. And in conclusion, we remain concerned about the impact of the passing of the bill, or what the passing of the bill will have on investments in our country. Madam Chair, with these few words, I just want to say that I do not support the bill. Thank you.
Good morning, Chairperson. I greet you all with your committee member, and I also acknowledge the representative member of the Democratic Alliance, and it Igamalam Andris, Sinjamba Ifan from Democratic Alliance in Matsikama. Ladies and gentlemen, let me send this message to make it very clear. We are talking about from Madagascar to Cairo to Cape One, Africa. Can we go in the history and to see what happened around in Africa? We have our neighbor country in Zimbabwe. They make the same decisions. Today, the young generation in this country, they are running away to go to the neighbor country to looking for better opportunity. I am not supporting the bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Greetings to the chairperson and the parliamentary members. My name is Archie Baloti from the EFF in Matsikama in Ward 3. I'm the secretary there. I would like to say, and I know the Democratic Alliance won't support the bill because some of them, they are owning this land. That is the reason why they won't support the bill. But let me go further. I would like to correct the chief. We are not the foreigners here. We are not. Let us not make the whites or the foreigners to divide us in our continent. We are all one in this continent, Africans. Whether you are Khoisan, whether you are Ngunis, but we are one. They took our land from us also, not only the Khoisan. That is the correct answer. I support the bill But please, to the parliament, please go with the process. Don't delay this process. The people are waiting for their land. We are hungry for the land. We want to, there are businesses, there are black businesses, people that want to get land, but they can't because the land is still to the white people. I'm not racist, but it's true, it's the fact. Please give the land back. The Khoisan are hungry for their land. We are hungry for our land. I support the bill. Thank you very much.
Goedemorgen allemaal. Mijn naam is Andries Maarman. Ik is van de EFF, ik is van die Gravater area. En ik wil zeggen, ik in ons support die bill voor expropriation without compensation. Ik wil een beroep doen op mijn medemens, die Khoisan, die Nguni, die wit mensen, zwart, bruin, geel, dat ons het allemaal grond nodig om een bestaan te maken in Zuid-Afrika. Waar ik vandaan kom, als ik mijn voet oor die pad zit, als ik in een witmanse grond en ik is subjected tot wat hulle sê, as jy op 'n ander man se grond is, sê hulle jy trespas. Ons in Gravater, ons het niks grond vir ons selfie. Al die grond rondom Gravater behoort aan wit mense. Baie van ons het goeie planne, baie van ons het goeie idees wat om te doen met die grond, maar ons word nie toegelaat om iets te doen met die grond nie. Soos ek sê, ons het almal grond nodig, of jy 'n bruin man is, of jy 'n swart man is, en of jy 'n wit man is. Maar die probleem is, al die grond behoort aan die wit mense. Daarom wil ek op die bruin mense 'n beroep doen, asseblief. Julle moet hierdie bil support. Anders gaan ons nooit grond hê as bruin mense nie, sowel as die swart mense. Swart mense moet die wet support, anders sal ons nooit grond hê as swart mense nie, sowel as wit mense. As hulle wil hê ons moet hulle vergewe, soos Mandela van ons gevra het 1994, moet hulle na die tafel toe kom en die grond kom deel met ons. Anders so nie gaan ons in 'n oorlog ontaard aan die einde van die dag. Dit is waarom hierdie wet is 'n goeie ding vir ons mense, om in een samelewing saam te kan lewe en soos elkeen om vry te kan is om te doen wat ons wil doen. By my kan ek nie my kultuur uitoefen nie, want as ek dit daar by my huis doen, is die grond te min. Ek behoort my kultuur en my tradisies in die veld uit te oefen, waar die grond beskikbaar is en nie gebruik word nie, maar dit word nie vir ons toegelaat om daar te kom nie. Ons riviere, die Jakkalsrivier byvoorbeeld, daar is massiewe groot indringerplantbome, wat ons kan saag en geld maak daaruit om ons ekonomie te boost. Die wit mense hou ons weg van daardie bome uit ons eie rivier uit. So aan die einde van die dag word ons weggehou, nie net van die grond af nie, maar ons kan nie deelneem aan die ekonomie nie. Dit maak dat ons kinders wederstrewe word en ons kan hulle nie bederf, soos die wit man sy kind bederf nie. As my kind 'n pakkie chips wil hê, kan ek nie vir hom 'n rand gee om 'n pakkie chips te koop nie, want ek het nie geld nie, ek mag nie uit die ekonomie uit benefit nie. Daarom wil ek weer die beroep doen, mense asseblief, ondersteun hierdie wetsontwerp. Dit kan ons almal vrymaak, sodat elkeen kan doen wat hy moet doen, sonder om die wet te breek. Dankie.
My name is Andries Marman. I'm from Gravater area. I support the EFF. We support the bill. To ask every person, and I implore you, we all need land, not just black people, not just brown people. We all need land. When we have no land in Gravater. We have ideas and we have plans. All the land belongs to the whites. I can't put my feet across the road because then I'll be trespassing in another man's land. I implore black and brown people to support this bill. If we don't, we'll be stuck without land. I can't exercise my culture, which is my constitutional right. White keep us from making money. such as cutting down trees and selling that and putting that money back into the economy. I can't spoil my kids because I don't have any money to give them. Please support the bill. Thank you.
Dames en heren, ek is Netititis. Ek is ook van die Elandskloof CPA. Maar ek gaan nou nie sê wat die vorige sprekers gesê het nie. Elandskloof was die eerste restitutiesaak in die hele Suid-Afrika. Toe ons teruggekom het, het die prokureurs gesê, maar ons sukkel eers om die magie te kry en sodra ons binne in Elandskloof is, sal ons gaan kyk na die omliggende gronde. Dat het nie gebeur nie. Ons as Elandsklowers, die eerste bruin gemeenskap wat hulle grond teruggekry het, word gesien as 'n swart kool op 'n wit doek. Ek wil vanoggend vir julle sê dat elke tweede jaar ons is afhanklik van ons boego uit die berge uit, maak ons boego. Elandsklowers is besig om uit te sterf. Ons groot mense sterf uit en ons kinders weet nie waar is ons grense nie. En dit is waarom ons gewend het die vorige jaar tot die president, sodat dinge gouer kan gebeur. Elandskloof, die mooiste begrafplaas op Elandskloof, is die mooiste blomtuin, want ons mense sterwe uit. Wanneer ons gaan boego maak, dan kom daar lede van die Kaapse Natuur, Cape Nature kom ook in. Daar is nie drade of grense nie, en daardie gronde was gronde wat ons voorouers aangekoop het met die oeste wat hulle gemaak het. My pleidooi aan u vanoggend is om asseblief hierdie proses te bespoedig. Ek support hierdie bil ten volle. Baie mense sal sê, maar julle het julle grond. Ons is afhanklik van ons berge af. En ons moet kyk na ons kinders. Ons kinders gaan tronk toe uit ons eie gronde uit wat aangekoop was. So, ek wens vir sterkte toe met hierdie bil en ek glo en vertrou. Ons het nie 'n sent gekry nie. Die vorige eienaar is dubbel en dwars vergoed. U het gehoor wat gebeur het op Elandskloof, ek gaan dit nie herhaal nie. Maar ek glo en vertrou, dit was vir ons ook seker vandag die moeite werd. Dit was baie moeilik om vanoggend uit te kom, maar sê dankie vir die Here. 'n Geseënde dag vir u verder.
My name is Mickey Titus. I represent the CPA of the Elandskloof. You've heard about the Elandskloof situation. We were told that when we get back to Elandskloof, then the lawyers would look at the surrounding areas as to how we could get it. But at the moment, we're a black spot on a white canvas. The Elandskloof is dying out. Our grandchildren don't even know where our borders are. And the loveliest cemetery is the one where all the flowers are growing because so many people are dying. Cape Nature has been to see how our country, our area can be improved. There was the land was bought with the harvests of the past, and that is how we got hold of it. I ask you, please, to accelerate the process. We support this expropriation. You have your own land, and you have then kids going, we have our kids going to prison. We didn't get a cent out of the restitution, but the people that owned the land before it was restituted to us are rolling in money. Thank you.
Ek sê vanmôre goeiemôre aan almal op die platform, almal teenwoordig. Ek verteenwoordig, ek is Henny April van Saldanha Bay. Ek verteenwoordig die Kogokwa Khoi tribe van Saldanha Bay. Ek wil net vra vir die lede. Ons moet na 'n punt toe kom dat ons nie net die erkenning gee vir ons inheemse stamme nie, maar dat ook ons die erkenning gee van eienaarskap van ons grond. Dit is hoekom sal ek vanmôre vra, dit wat gebeur, laat dit bespoedig word, want baie lê onder die wetgewing soos wat dit nou is. Baie dankie, lekker dag.
I would just like to greet everyone. My name is Henny April. I am from Saldanha and I represent the Kogokoe. I just want to ask members to recognize ownership of our land. And I want our people to know that we need this law to happen. And we need to, so that ownership of our land can come back to us. Thank you.
Amongst us, we were joined by the councillors from this municipality and even other municipalities around this area, DA councillors, Councillor Solomons, Councillor Dibie, Councillor Daniels, Councillor Bess, Councillor Makwaya, Councillor Truta, Councillor Skippers, Councillor Small, Councillor Pretorius, and Councillor Sinyama. Some of them have already spoken. We appreciate your presence. Thank you to all the speakers, from the traditional leaders, the FINSA, I hope that I'm pronouncing it correctly, and all the tribes that are around, the political parties that are here, the individuals that are here. As you can see, we're noting all the presentations that you are making to us. We are recording them. We are also taking some notes as you present. We will then, as the portfolio committee, as I indicated earlier on, after we are through with all the public hearings in all the 9 provinces, we'll sit down, look at the presentations that you have made to us, and ask our legal people from the parliament to assist us when we compile a document that will be presented to Parliament. We are taking the views. We are not saying this view is not correct. We are taking all of them, those that are in support of the bill with their reasons, those that are in objection of the bill with all their reasons. We are taking them and noting them. We really appreciate that you decided to join us today and present your views. I think we are through now. Madam, we requested all the hands. No, he didn't. He's our last speaker because we requested everyone to speak. You have 3 minutes, just like everyone. Please come in front because we are recording.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to ask this question. Is I see that the expropriation bill, or what our communities think is that the expropriation bill are doing that it will be expropriated without compensation and the land will be redistributed. But as I read this bill, I see chapter 3.2. It says it gives power to the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure the power to expropriate land for infrastructure, not for redistribution. So I just want you to make sure that the message out is not a message of redistribution, but for infrastructure, according to chapter 3.2. And I want to read it. And I have the Afrikaans version now. It says, magte van minister van openbare werke en infrastruktuur om te onteien. Clausule 3 en 4 verleen aan die minister van openbare werke en infrastruktuur 'n algemene mag om te onteien. Die minister is bemagtig om eiendom te onteien vir 'n doel wat gepaard gaan met die uitvoering van sy of haar mandaat. Waar die voorsiening en bestuur van die aanpassingsgrond en infrastruktuurbehoeftes van staatsorgane insluit. Die minister mag sy of haar kragte en pligte soos vervat in die wetsontwerp aan 'n amptenaar van die departement van openbare werke en infrastruktuur afvaardig of toewys behalwe vir die mag om te onteien, om dringende te onteien op 'n tydelike basis, 'n onteiening terug te trek of regulasies daar te stel. So my question is the expropriation bill without compensation a matter of redistribution to everybody that says who own the land? The Khoi and the San said it's their land. The EFF said it's their land. And there's different tribes who claim the land. But is the appropriation bill for redistribution, or as it is in the bill, it gives power to the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure for infrastructure purposes for this country? Thank you. And I don't support the bill.
As I was finalizing, appreciating all your presentation, as this portfolio committee, we will take all those issues that relate to the land claims that have not been resolved to the portfolio committee of agriculture and land reform, which is chaired by Nkosi Mandla Mandela, because they are the ones that are dealing with land claims. And we will also, those that relate to the local authority, as you have been raising them, we will also refer them to the relevant municipality. But all those that refer to the bill, as it is there with you, we will take them for discussion. The discussions have not yet been closed. The bill has not yet been finalized, as we are still seeking your views on the bill. We thank you. again for attending this meeting. We appreciate that you decided to spend your time with us today. Siyabonga. Thank you. Bayadanki. Nihambe kakuhle. Enkosi.